The office lay shrouded in an unsettling silence as I toiled away into the late hours of the night. Colleagues had long departed, leaving me isolated in the dimly illuminated building. The wall clock ominously counted down the seconds, each tick stretching into a prolonged moment. Flickering fluorescent lights cast a feeble glow, and the only audible sounds were the faint hum of the lights overhead. With an impending deadline, I had no choice but to retrieve crucial documents from the storage room on the third floor. Resigned, I donned my jacket and ventured into the chilling night air, which seemed to permeate the building. Climbing the deserted stairwell, a sense of foreboding accompanied me. The third floor presented an even gloomier atmosphere, and an air of trepidation enveloped me as I approached the document storage room. The corridor leading to it appeared to stretch endlessly, and the creaks and groans of the aging building created an illusion of sentience, as if it observed my every move. Upon reaching the document storage room, I hesitated for a moment. A peculiar disquiet settled over me, as though unseen eyes were fixed on my every step. Pushing aside the unsettling feeling, I grasped the doorknob and slowly opened the door. The room revealed rows of towering shelves, laden with dusty files and forgotten paperwork. Fumbling for the light switch, I cast a feeble, flickering glow over the room. Navigating through the labyrinth of shelves, my footsteps resonated in the eerie silence. The thick air seemed pregnant with anticipation, and an unshakable sense of being scrutinized intensified with each passing moment. Finally, I reached the section where the documents I sought were supposedly stored. As I began sifting through the files, the dim light cast unsettling shadows on the walls. The distant sound of a door creaking sent shivers down my spine, and I instinctively turned toward the source of the noise. A figure stood in the shadows at the end of the aisle. Relief and curiosity flooded me as I recognized the silhouette. Mr. Thompson, a middle-aged colleague. Wanting to share a moment of camaraderie during our late-night work, I called out, "Mr. Thompson, is that you?" There was no response. The figure remained motionless, a dark silhouette against the dimly lit room. Tentatively, I approached, eager to catch up. As I drew closer, I noticed a faint scent of cigarette smoke lingering in the air. Mr. Thompson occasionally took smoke breaks, and the thought of him enjoying one now made me chuckle nervously. I quickened my pace, keen to join him. However, the closer I got, the more the unease I initially felt transformed into a paralyzing fear. Something was amiss. The shadows seemed to dance around Mr. Thompson, distorting his figure in unnatural ways. The air grew colder, and the oppressive silence was broken only by the echo of my own footsteps. I called out once more, my voice trembling, "Mr. Thompson, is everything okay?" No response. Deep down, I knew that what I was witnessing was all too real. Suddenly, the air thickened, and a bone-chilling gust of wind swept through the room. Blinking, I found Mr. Thompson gone, vanished into thin air, leaving me alone in the suffocating darkness. The unsettling silence returned, broken only by the echoes of my ragged breath. I stood there, frozen in fear, grappling with the inexplicable encounter. My mind raced, attempting to make sense of the situation. Was it a trick of the light? A figment of my imagination? But the truth gnawed at me. What I had seen was real. With urgency, I abandoned my quest for the documents and hastily retreated to the stairwell. The shadows seemed to close in, and each step echoed with the haunting sound of my own footsteps. Descending the stairs, an overwhelming sense of dread clung to me like a ghostly presence. Reaching the ground floor, I burst into the deserted office space. Breathless, I struggled to shake off the terror. The once familiar office now felt like a labyrinth of shadows and whispers. I stumbled toward the entrance, desperate to escape the suffocating atmosphere that lingered in every corner. Just as I reached the exit, a faint sound caught my attention. A distant echo of my own name whispered in the chilling wind. Turning around, my eyes scanned the darkness. There, in the dim light, I glimpsed a figure standing in the shadows. The same contorted face, the same empty eyes. It was Mr. Thompson, or whatever malevolent force had taken on his form. A primal fear surged through me as I sprinted toward the exit, leaving behind the darkness that had taken on a life of its own. The cold night air embraced me as I fled the building, which seemed to exhale a sigh of relief. The oppressive weight lifted, but the echoes of that horrifying encounter lingered. I dared not look back as I escaped into the night, leaving behind the inexplicable malevolence that had manifested in the shadows. To this day, the memory of that night haunts my dreams, a chilling reminder that some horrors are best left undiscovered in the unknown depths of the shadows.
This chilling incident occurred during my time in high school. The school decided to break the monotony by organizing a camping trip. And little did I know, it would turn out to be the most harrowing experience of my life. The school announced a camping trip to a remote area in the county, bringing excitement to my high school days. Departing on a Thursday, we hopped into school-provided vehicles, and I was genuinely thrilled. It marked my first camping experience, and the prospect of spending time with friends made it even more appealing. After a roughly 3-hour journey, we reached our destination. The school divided us into groups, and following the grouping, my friends and I decided to take a short break to discuss the upcoming games. Around 7 in the evening, the school's organizers kicked off the planned activities. Post the games, it turned out our group emerged victorious in every activity. Despite the fatigue, the experience was incredibly enjoyable. Following a series of events, we all returned to our respective tents to rest. The night air had that camping feel, and contrary to my expectations, it became quite cold. The wind intensified as the night progressed. I tried to get some sleep. I don't recall how long I was asleep, but I suddenly woke up due to the cold air. The urge to use the restroom struck me. Looking around, I noticed my friends in the tent were already asleep, and it was eerily quiet. Everyone was in their own tents. I tried waking up one of my friends to accompany me, saying, "Hey, wake up, I need someone to take me to the bathroom, I'm in a hurry." But my friend didn't respond, just continued sleeping. Unable to endure it any longer, I had to go alone. I grabbed a flashlight and exited the tent. In the distance, I saw someone. I observed a person sitting in one of the huts not far from our tents. The woman was swaying her legs back and forth, and from her attire, it seemed like she was also camping in the area. Perhaps she was an older student keeping watch, I thought. I approached her, and as I got closer, I could see her face. I had never seen her before. Her face was quite unfamiliar. But considering we were in the vicinity of our tents, it seemed likely she was another student. I assumed she might be a senior. I decided to ask her, "Hi, which way to the bathroom?" She pointed towards a direction, not too far from where I was standing. In reality, I was just making small talk because I already knew where the bathroom was. "Thanks," I said to my senior, and I left her. I walked towards the bathroom, and when I glanced back, the senior I had just seen was following me from behind. Maybe she also needed to use the bathroom, I thought to myself. As I finished and came out of the bathroom, she was still walking towards the bathroom. "Feel free to go too, I'll go back the tent first," I said to her. She just nodded and entered the bathroom. I started walking back towards the tent. I heard the sound of a woman crying from inside the bathroom. Reflexively, I found myself heading back to the bathroom, knocking on the door and asking, Sis, what happened?" Shortly after, she opened the door. "All right, let's just go back to the tent," I suggested, and she nodded in agreement. I guided her back towards the tent. Throughout the walk, she remained silent. I followed her from behind. Her steps became erratic, as if she were disoriented. Eventually, she deviated from the path to the tents and walked in a different direction. The surroundings grew darker, with minimal illumination. "Sis, wait a moment, it seems like we're on the wrong path. The tents should be to the left," I questioned her, but she offered no response. Sis, we're on the wrong path. If we continue this way, it seems like we're heading into the forest. There's no lighting, and it's getting darker, sis." She then halted her steps, standing still. I cautiously approached her and attempted to ask once more. When I tapped her shoulder, she reflexively turned towards me. The woman's face was flat, and red liquid started oozing from the small pores on her flat face. I was somewhat stunned, unable to move. I wanted to scream, but I couldn't. It was as if I were paralyzed. The woman with the flat face started getting closer, swaying her head as if scrutinizing me from head to toe. She walked past me, penetrating my body. As a chilling sensation enveloped my entire being and the woman passed by me, everything went black. Suddenly, a loud, bustling voice calling my name echoed the voices of my friends. In an instant, I woke up. My friends were guiding me back to the tent. After calming down, I recounted the experience to them. One of my senior classmates, who claimed to have the ability to sense and see supernatural entities, mentioned that there was a guardian spirit in that area who didn't like me. I couldn't comprehend why or what made that spirit dislike me. And frankly, I didn't want to find out. I didn't even want to continue with the camping trip that night. Not long after, We hurriedly left. And 3 days after that incident, I fell ill. My health took a nosedive, and suddenly, I felt feverish and began hallucinating. In my delirium, I saw the woman with the flat face in my room, observing me with a sinister gaze. Red fluid seeped out of the tiny pores on her flat face. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw the woman with the flat face for several days. It wasn't until I continued praying that she vanished on her own.